welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a dry fly, and it is a dry fly that is becoming quite a staple in Spanish anglers' dry fly boxes. Now, the material that we're going to use is number 34. Now, this particular material is used because it has so many different hues. As you can probably see, there is olive, there is beige, there is mustard, and those colours pretty well cover most of the flies that we use during the course of the year. So in the vise I have a size 16 dry fly hook, which is probably about as big as you would want to tie this fly. If you want to go to a 14 to imitate something very early on in the season, then fine. So I'm just going to start this a little bit back from the eye, wind on the tying thread and trim up the excess. Right, now for the wings, which I'm going to tie on first, I've got 3 CDC feathers here. I'll just marry them up, and I'm going to pull back these fibres at the base and take out the points. Just snip those out, and I'll show you what to do with those later. And that has left us with these fibres, which we're going to use for the wing. I'm just going to pull those fibres forward. I'm going to tie them in behind the eye, give them a couple of loose turns, and pull back the fibres beyond the stalk so that you have the stalks behind the wing, and tie down the fibres and trim up the stalks of the feathers. I'm just going to bind those down. And I'm going to put a little wrap in front of the wing, 2 turns, before putting in the tail. Now for the tail I'm going to use some coq de lion, and this is a ginger dyed coq de lion, and I'm only going to use a couple of fibres. Let's see, 3 fibres. Pull them out at 90 degrees and tie them in. And bind them down to the rear of the fly. Now the length of the tail is entirely up to you, whether you want it longer or shorter. And I'll trim up the excess fibres from the tail and the coq de lion. One more there. As I said, you can see all of the different shades that are in there, and that's why this becomes a must-have in your box, because it represents, or can represent, so much. It's quite easy to work with. Dub on and wind on the body. It will naturally get thicker as you go along the body. So now I am going to put a sighter on this fly, and I'm going to use some Fly-Rite number 7. So I'm going to double that over, and just square off the ends and tie that in. Pull it to length, tie it down. Now I'm also going to use this to separate the wings. I'm just going to put on a little bit more dubbing, take off the excess. Now I'm going to pull back these fibres that I'm using for the wing and just bank up in front of the wing to get it upright, and add just a little bit more. Now if you want to use something like hare's ear, that's fine. Like so. Now we're going to try and separate this down the middle. More or less. And tie down the sighter with a couple of wraps, and then pull it back and tie it down again. Sighter, whatever length suits you. I'm going to tie this off with a half hitch tool. Trim up the thread. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto that thread to seal the knot. As always, just check the eye is clear. Now the wings, however you want them. Some people like to leave them as they are, and then when they get to the river they can trim them up to the length that they think is right for what they are imitating. But there, I've just trimmed those off. And you have the finished fly. Not a difficult tie, but it's the material that makes the difference. Now you can see here this ribbing effect of the different colours, the beige, the olive, the yellow, and those three colours are the basic colours of the flies that you might find on the river. Hope you enjoyed the tying. Don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, share it if you wish. If you're not a subscriber, hit that bell, become a subscriber, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.